Hey, Annie Clark here, candidate for York City Council,
And I'm Tali, a sixth grade student,
and also
and also my grandmother.
this is my granddaughter Tali, which most of you have met. And if you haven't, you've missed out because she's fantastic. So today we thought we'd talk about leadership and how we both have developed as leaders from the time that we were little till now. So I'm going to tell you my story first, and then you tell me your story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I can remember as far back as probably about 3 or 4 years old, organizing school on the front porch of Queen Street,
Mm-hmm.
like making all the neighbor kids come and play school, and of course, they had to do it my way. So, but just remembering the first part of leadership, just remember organizing things a lot.
Well, when I was little, I saw someone being bullied at school, and it really hurt my feelings. So I thought I would come up with a thing where we could help,
Yeah.
and it really did work, and it really did benefit but
Mm-hmm.
all the students because they were all very happy afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no one being bullied, and I thought that's amazing.
That is amazing. I think one of the things that our people, I've been born with, you have, I'm sure our grandparents had, is that we have true empathy for people. We really feel the same things they're feeling, and so when we see them in pain or hurt, we really feel like that's a real problem, and like we really feel it in our depths in our soul. So I've felt like that too over the years, seeing kids when I was little, and I was always a defender. So how's leadership changing for you, like since you were little till now?
Leadership has really changed. There are more leaders out there, and there are more becoming leaders.
Mm.
That's why we are the That's why my generation is going to help, and that's why everyone else is trying to do. And
Mm-hmm.
leadership is really moving fast. Like
Mm.
you could see in the past that people were getting bullied sometimes, and it was
Yeah.
really hurting them, and that was bringing them down. But leaders are starting to pick the people who have been bullied up, so they don't bully anymore. And I think that's really important, considering how many could
Mm-hmm.
be bullied in the future if we don't do something. And I think that's really I'm really glad that leaders are doing that.
I'm glad our leaders are doing that too, because when we were kids, um, I mean, everybody, I don't know, it wasn't as violent as it is now. And so people did have bullying and stuff like that, but it just was more like teasing. It wasn't like physically hurting somebody or threatening somebody. So that is
Mm-hmm.
scary. Nobody wants to be threatened
Mm-hmm.
or hurt
And
in
now there's
school.
cyberbullying, so there could be
Yeah.
other ways of bullying, but that is why we have leaders on the internet too. It's
Mm,
not just leaders outside the internet. There's leaders on the internet to make sure that the people who are getting bullied on the internet don't get bullied too.
that's true. So some of the things one of the reasons that I decided to run for city council is because of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The first girls that I ever coached, actually at Boys Club, are now juniors in college, and one of them is going to come back and do an intern with me. And I was afraid that there was no jobs for these young women in York. Why don't you tell people what you want to be, and then that our leaders out there can start realizing why I'm running, because maybe the job you want isn't here in York either.
I want to be a scientist, and I really want to go to Penn State because Penn State is a very good school. And if you want to be something big like a scientist, then you have to go somewhere big. And I
Mm-hmm.
think Penn State has been very, very active. I
Well, they're a
think they're
teaching
helping.
hospital too, and they're
Yeah.
a teaching university.
Mhm.
So they go, and not only do they teach, but they teach. Not only do you learn, but you teach there.
Yes.
So that's pretty neat.
And I think if you want to be something like a scientist or a doctor, you have a chance to be that. There's no one stopping you. If you're
Hmm.
going to be a leader like that, you be a leader.
Do you know if we have any companies here that do research the kind that you want to do?
I'm not very sure. I don't think so, though. I think that we're trying to get places that can
Mm-hmm.
help. But if it doesn't go well, then I guess we're going to need some.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the girls or the boys come in. They can help. And the research that I want to do is very important to other people. I don't want to do it just because I think it's good for me. I want to do it because I think it's good for other people.
Yeah. Well, of course, that's why we always do that. We have service hearts.
Hmm.
We want to work for other people. Well, some of the research you want to do is here at York Hospital, and some of it isn't. Some of it you need a bigger university for,
Hmm.
like John Hopkins or CHOP or someplace like that. But maybe by the time that you graduate, those jobs might be here. And you
Hmm.
might actually bring that research to York. So what else can we think about leadership?
Leadership is not just people who get hurt and people have to pick them up. Leadership is like a game. If you really want to win, you'll help your teammates. You'll get in the game and you will be the leader or the captain of that game. And you will pick them right back up if they fall and you will make that winning goal. And I think that's really important in games or anything in real life. It's like a game. You need to pick somebody back up and you need to help them from falling.
Yeah, I think that if we all approached it, that we were in it together, it would make it different. You know, I think that leadership is making all people count, regardless if they're little tiny people, right? Like even like Ava, who cries a lot. We're not talking about her right now. Or, you know, really big people who have already lived their life, because, you know, sometimes we can re-empower senior citizens.
Yeah, and you know they might have had a rough life when they were kids. So knowing that we are starting something where we can prevent stuff like that, they might be actually very happy. And you know that's what we need to do. We need to make everyone happy, even if they are senior citizens, even if they are babies. We need to make their generation or their generations very, very happy.
Well, I'm glad that you came to hang out with me and we got to do our video, right? And so me and Tali will come back and do more videos, of course. This one was about leadership and making people count. Me and Tali talk about literally everything, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We do. We're both talkers. So remember, York, you mattered to me. Primaries are May 16th. Tali put a lot of signs up for me yesterday, which was great. I want to thank all the people who let me put signs in your yard. It is really cool to drive down and see your name in a sign. And just to know that people are supporting you and, you know, and hopefully vote on May 16th. Okay, bye.
Bye.